Hello everyone, my name is Leonardo Gomez. I'm a Principal Solution Architect here at AWS, and this is a demo of Amazon DataZone Data Lineage. This is our first demo architecture. Let's start from left to right. So we start with the Amazon Aurora database as a source. Then we're going to use a glue job in order to extract the data from the database and put it on a S3 bucket. Then we're going to catalog the data using the AWS Glue Data Catalog. And then we're going to use another glue job in order to perform some aggregations. Okay, we're going to put the result of that in another S3 bucket. And then again, we're going to catalog this new table or this new asset using the Glue Data Catalog. And then we're going to visualize the diagram on Amazon DataZone. Okay, let's start our demo in the total quality per buyer asset page. Okay, we are going to use this asset in order to see the data lineage diagram. So here we are in the business metadata tab, in which you can add your business information for the data asset. For example, here you can see the summary, a use case, and a README, and so on. Okay. Also, here you have the data quality tab, in which you can see all the data quality scores. Okay. And finally, here you're going to see the lineage tab. Okay, so let's see the diagram. Let's start for now from right to left. So here you can see the asset that was somebody got subscribed to this asset, in this case the marketing project. Okay, you can see, for example, here access requested. Then you have the asset that you publish, okay, that is part of your project. Okay, called total quality per buyer, the same as here. Okay, and here you can see the asset before it got published. Okay, so here you can see that it has 5 columns. Let me show you a little of the metadata you can find here. Okay, you can see, for example, the schema of the table. You can see the history. You can see that we have here 2 versions of it. And general information. You can see that is a glue table, okay? And the source ID, for example. Okay, so here, all this, when you see this icon, is in the context of Amazon DataZone, okay? So now, let's go to the source. In this case, is a data asset that, as you can see here, is on Amazon S3, okay? You can see some information as well, like technical metadata. Okay, and here you can see the schema, okay, similar to the one that we had before. Okay, so if we go to the left, okay, you're going to see here our first glue job. Okay, so here you can see, for example, information about the glue job. Okay, for example, the Spark version, the type of job, in this case is a batch job, and the location of the job. Of course, with you have also the option to get a history of the execution of this job. Okay, so now let's span the left. Okay, these 2 arrows that we have here, the left part of the diagram, and here you are going to see that this job, the source that was used, okay, in order to produce the data was these 2 data sets. Okay, we have this first one, okay, that it contains 18 columns called users, as you can see here, and the second one, you can see that the asset used was sales. Okay, both of them, as you can see here, are on S3. Okay, both of them are located on S3. So if we go further left, you can see that we have 2 jobs. Okay, these jobs are ingestion jobs. Okay, let me extend the final part of the diagram. So as you can see here, these 2 are also glue jobs. As you can see it, here. Okay, you can see it down here. You can see there is a job. Okay, and this is a Spark job, the same here. So why I mentioned that these 2 were ingestion jobs, because if you see the source, okay, the source is a SQL database, a MySQL database, sorry. Okay, so you can see that we have both of them, both of those sources are MySQL databases. Okay, so perfect. With that, we complete the entire flow. Now let's see it at the column level. Okay, so here we have 18 columns and here we have 10. Okay, if I expand this, you're going to, let me reduce this a little for you to see this diagram in a more organized way. So you can see here all the columns. Okay, you can see how these columns change or transition from the source to the destination. Okay, you can see here, for example, the ingestion job. Let me put it here down here. The injection job. The only thing that it did was ingesting data from the MySQL database to S3. Okay, and then we have the second job that reduced from it did perform a join between these two tables. Okay, and the result of that join was these 5 tables. Okay, so these 5 tables were the ones that we used to this new asset that is the result of the join of these 2 tables was the one that we used to catalog to create the table and catalog in DataZone and then publish it and share it. But if you want to see the history, okay, of a specific column, you can also see it. And also you were able to see that for each node we had different information, okay, different metadata. Perfect. Now let's go with the second demo. In this case, it covers the integration with dbt. For this use case, we had 2 Redshift databases, okay, as a source, as a destination, and we use a group of 3 dbt jobs in order to extract and also aggregate the data. And of course, we are going to visualize all this using Amazon DataZone. For the second demo, we are going to work on top of the sales by date table or asset. So in this case, we have the same business metadata tab, data quality, filter, schema, and so on. But we are going to focus once again on lineage. Okay, this one is a little less complex than the one before. Okay, so let's start again from right to left. So as you can see here, we start with the asset that was published. Okay, remember that these 2 icons belongs to the data, the assets that are part of DataZone. Okay, so in this case, the difference between this demo and the previous one is that we are talking about a Redshift tables or Redshift assets, as you can see here. Okay, you have some information about the asset, you have the schema, as you can notice here, okay, with different columns. Okay, and here you have a data set, okay, that in this case is again a Redshift data set. Okay, and here we have a job. Okay, but this job, as you can see here, is a dbt job, because as I mentioned before, and the folks mentioned before, this asset comes from as a result of dbt ETL job run. Okay, yes, because Amazon DataZone also support dbt as a lineage source. Okay, so if we want to get more details about this job, let's click the arrows. I'm going to put here and going to expand everything at once. Okay, so you can see here that we have a database, a relational database as a data source, in this case Redshift. Okay, then we have a dbt job that is going to extract the data from Redshift and perform some transformations. As you can see here, you can see integration dbt. Okay, same here, same with the second job. Okay, integration dbt, and then we have the data set that we generate. In this case, is going to be Redshift. Okay, same here. So remember that we are extracting data from a another Redshift cluster, for example, and adding those to our cluster. Then we have a job also on DBT that is going to help us to join these two tables of data assets, and it's going to generate a result. Okay, as you can see here, it's going to generate a result with the join of those tables. Okay, and then we are going to use this asset to catalog in DataZone. Okay, as you can see here, we have the 9 columns. And then, as I mentioned before, we are going to use those assets to catalog them. Okay, you can see the schema here. You can see the schema as I mentioned before, and you can also see the history of the execution of this lineage diagram. Okay, so as you can see, Amazon DataZone also support third-party vendor sources. In this case, for this demo, we use DBT.